So today there is going to be one major change, and I've already changed it, and you're probably going to notice there has been a name change on my channel. I no longer call it the Cole Family Farms. Last night I just kept having these repeated dreams of kind of the pioneer ways. In my dream, the billboard sign said the Pioneer Farmhouse. So that is what I changed my channel to. It's actually the Pioneer Farmhouse with Patricia. So that is going to be my new title and I think I'm really gonna like it and enjoy it. The other title, the Cole Family Farms, there was about 3 other people that had the same name as me. So I'm just trying to find a name that really stands out, and I think that's going to stand out for me, and I'm really gonna like it. I'm really all about learning things and doing things the way the pioneers done it. I'm just really enamored by the things the old-fashioned way, and it's not particularly that I want to use them on an everyday base, but should something happen, like the grid was to go down, we lose power from, you know, ice, wind, snowstorm. Nope, my dogs are here. I would want to know how to use them. And that's some things that we are going to learn and do together on this channel, is learn how to do things the old-fashioned way. And it's like I said, it's not that we want to live that way in this modern world, but should we have to and need to learn to do that for a week or 2 weeks, like I said, because of situations, then I think that would be something really good to learn. So I'm going to be learning some things. I'm going to be teaching them to y'all and showing them, and I think they're actually going to be fun. So a little bit of an update on my doctor's appointment yesterday. I did go to the surgeon. The surgeon that I generally see was at a conference. I didn't get to see him. The nurse practitioner I generally see was not there. He was off on vacation. So I did see another physician that I've seen in the past. He is really good, and I really do like him. But I was really disappointed yesterday. I kept trying to tell him that, you know, the pain has returned. I'm taking more pain pills. Something is changing. Something is not right. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of inflammation back in my shoulder. And honestly, he just really blew me off and, you know, say, well, it must be something else. And when I know deep down in my heart that it is still my shoulder, he thinks that I have a nerve problem and maybe some cervical issues. And I know that's clearly not, because I don't have any problems with moving my head from left to right or my neck. It all stems from the shoulder. When I get pain, it starts right here in the shoulder area, and it radiates from here outwards, whether it's to the clavicle, you know, the scapula, the clavicle, down my arm to the wrist and fingers. He just really wasn't going to listen to me. So he did set me up for all of these nerve conduction tests and the MRI of the clavicle. And the other thing is, I asked him, you know, would it be possible to get an MRI of the shoulder and just to see what's going on in there? He was just as hesitant as all the other doctors were. That I've asked them 3 times to please do another MRI of my shoulder. They don't seem to want to do that. I don't understand why. I got one response back, well, the doctor's already been in there. He knows what your shoulder looks like. Well, I tried to tell him that was 14 weeks ago. Things have changed in 14 weeks. So I got nowhere with that. But today I see my family doctor, and I'm going to talk to her about doing an MRI of the left shoulder and the previous results, and doing a comparison and seeing what has changed and what is going on. You know, back on pain pills again. I really don't like to take pain pills to cover up something, but for right now, it seems like it's what I'm having to do, and I feel a lot better because of it. But hopefully today, with my primary care physician, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I've had a lot of people say, hey, why don't you get a second opinion and see what is going on for real? And so that might be something we're going to be doing, is getting a second opinion. And so I'll keep y'all updated after my doctor's appointment today. So I'm in the garden area, and the last 2 days we have had a lot of rain. My tomato plants, I didn't get them all propped up, are laying over on the ground. I've got these little plant clips that I bought at the Dollar Tree a couple of years ago, and we're going to tie our tomato plants up with this, and then we're going to take a mini garden tour and see what I have going on out here. And mostly it's just to kind of keep me busy. That way I just don't go stir crazy. But with that being said, let's get over here and let's start getting these tomato plants tied up. All right, so we come down to the garden. We've had a lot of rain the last 2 days, and my tomato plants have taken a beating. So this tomato plant here has been growing in this pot, and I've got this arched cattle panel here, and I have just tied it up to it with all of these little clips, and we're just going to let it grow up and over, and we're just going to see how that works. That might be pretty interesting. I've never done it before. It will just grow up this and upside down and let the tomatoes hang. I think that would be really cool. So I pulled up some of the greens that was in the patch where the carrots are and feeding that to the chickens. I can no longer let the chickens out because of a dog around here that comes and goes. So just keeping them up in here, and it's the best place for them. Okay, so this right here is just a shelving unit that we have, and these peppers are getting pretty tall. They're trying to fall over, so I'm going to see if I could take one of these clips and clip it to keep them from falling over one way or another. There's a squash plant growing in here, and I've got some green beans also growing. So we're going to get those to vine upwards today. And by the way, I did plant all of these. I just kind of threw a bunch of stuff in here just to see how they would do. And it looks like they're doing okay. I was just trying to see what you could possibly mix. This right here is a not a pino. This does not get hot. I have my squash plant growing. You can't see it, but right here is a squash plant growing. And I'm going to see if I could get this squash plant to vine upwards and grow up this trellis. Okay, so we are back over here at the parsnips, and this is the first time I've grown parsnips. These have been planted for a while, and I don't want to pull them up, but as you can see, there's a small one down there. They've been in the ground for a while, so I think I'm just going to leave them. They're not going to hurt anything. I'm definitely not getting a bumper crop from these. So we're back to the carrots here, and also there's not going to be a bumper crop of carrots. This is the first time for me growing them. I know I've planted them too close, and let's see, here's one. Here's some that's not going to hurt to pull them out. Probably all these will go to the chickens, but I do have little bitty carrots. They're not good enough for anything, as you can see how teeny tiny they are, but I mean, at least I know that I can grow carrots. So I just got to have the right conditions for them. I'm not planting them so close. Here's another one, so much bigger than the rest. But I'm just going to go feed these to the chickens. And I weeded this earlier, and they're going to like these. This area over here, my daughter will be here tomorrow. We're going to get worked up, and we'll probably replant this, and I think I'd like to put some turnips in here, and so we'll let you know how this goes. Really not a lot going on. Tomatoes, some peppers, and this late crop of potatoes. I think they're actually going to do fine. I pulled one up the other day, and it had little potatoes. So we're just going to let this go. Let's go ahead and pull this one up because it is just laying over. Now I planted these really late in the year, and you can see there's little bitty potatoes. I might just take and cut the ends. I might just take and cut the ends of this off and transplant this, and let's see what happens. Let's do that right now. Let's see what happens. Let's cut all of this off. Let's just leave this part here and put it back in the ground, and we'll mark it. Okay, so this is what I have. I went just right below that green stem, and let's see how these do. I've always been curious to see if these little potatoes ever sprout and grow. So let's just drop them right here. We're going to give them a nice deep hole. We're going to stick those in there. I want to get something to mark that. I actually have a stick right here. We'll just push down in there. We'll see how that goes. So the watermelons are finally growing. There's 3 watermelon seeds there. I don't know if they'll make anything before the end of the year, but it's going to be fun watching them to grow. The pumpkins also are doing quite well. As you can see, they may outgrow this container. Getting some of my first little vines here. I forget what those are called right now, but that's happening. Probably just let them cascade right down onto the ground. A few bean plants. Okay, so we are back inside. We got what we needed done outside, which really did not take very long. Just popped up some of the tomato plants, and just went through and tied some of the things up that needed to be tied up. Got 2 cherry tomatoes and 1 jalapeno. So was up late last night because my arm was hurting so bad I couldn't sleep. So just for some distractions, I got up and finished sewing the last tea towel that I had, of the one that I showed y'all on the stove. So let's flip the camera around and look at it. It turned out really pretty. All right, so there is the last tea towel. I did make it similar to the last one. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't put this ruffle on it, because I may want to use this for putting something on the table, or who knows, and I didn't want the ruffle getting in the way. But anyways, it would not take long to add a ruffle if I wanted to, but I did put some pleats in it with the iron and put it on the stove, and I think it just looks really pretty.